day in the pub, Seb and Verity were socialising with hilarity.
They knew there and then that their options were vast. They bought some equipment and made a podcast.
What do you think you are doing, you twits? It's cliched and obvious, you know.
If this doesn't work, well then we'll call it quits. But right now just listen to our show.
It's called Three in a Bar.
We'll talk to musicians about their lives so far.
Three in a bar. We hope that you like it, okay? Hooray!
Hello.
Hello,
Hey, welcome to another episode of Three in a Bar.
I'm Verity Simmons,
And I'm Seb Philpott. Yes,
back again. Number
back
8.
again. Number 8. And thanks to all of you that keep listening and keep coming back. And we're here again with a fantastic guest.
Yeah,
and,
this is such a lovely nostalgic episode, I think, because it was recorded at the end of January in the Royal Festival Hall foyer, and it was just bustling and lovely. It is violinist and arranger extraordinaire Michelle Taylor-Cohen.
Yeah, that's right. So we met her in the festival hall and it was a nice day. Was it a nice day?
It was Brexit Day.
It was Brexit Day, wasn't it? Yeah. But, because we were sat up the top there, if you know the festival hall, it's on the very top floor that you're allowed to go. I think you can go one level higher if you're a member or something. But we could just see, seeing across the Thames, a sight that we you'll get to see if you work in London quite often, but
Yeah.
I've not seen for a few months now.
No.
But it was nice to talk there. So this episode does sound a little bit different to the others because it's not in your normal studio setting.
Yeah.
So there is there's a general kind of like hubbub noise going on. So I've done my best to see if I can get rid of it, but you can't get rid of that. It's but actually it just takes you a couple of minutes. Adjust your ears. Oh, it's quite nice, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Quite a nostalgic sound.
Michelle, she's just wonderful, isn't she? She had so much to say. She's such an interesting person. I mean, she's done something in the region of 200 arrangements for my string quartet, Estilo String Quartet. But she also, she co-runs the Cohen Ensemble with her husband, Jakes, who's a conductor. And,
right.
She's great. She does loads of education work. She'd actually done something at the festival hall, which she talks a bit about as well. But I really loved this chat because we were all really relaxed and it was just a great day.
Yeah, I think so. Well, let's listen to it and then we'll chat about it afterwards.
Okay.
And we did actually. We chatted there at the festival hall, and then we had a little catch up, didn't we? With Michelle.
Yeah.
Enjoy the conversation, and we'll catch up with you afterwards.
Michelle's got a place down in Cornwall.
Oh, wow.
I know, in Padstow, just outside Padstow.
Oh, lovely.
It's nice. It's really nice.
I bet.
Yeah, it's good. Good place.
How long have you had that?
It's quite a long time. About 4 years now.
Yeah.
And I'm still as excited about it now as I was when we got it. I really am. It genuinely makes me happy every day.
I love it.
How often do you get to go down there then?
Well, because I haven't got a proper job, and neither has my husband.
Yeah.
We're there all the time. But every couple of months we'll get down there. Yeah, we had last week. We managed 10 weeks.
What?
With our lazy lifestyle.
You did 10 weeks down there on the trot?
No, not on the trot.
Sorry.
Added up over the year. Yeah.
That's excellent.
No, we have to come back and sort of
admit
and cash for food.
That's so disappointing.
But yeah.
You could definitely set up a little keyboard down on the front in Padstow.
We've already done it. It's happened.
And a few coins.
Oh no, I see, not by the harbour. I don't know. It's quite territorial. There's a guy there.
Oh, is there?
There's a really lovely busker, and he's lovely as well, and he does it all for charity. and he's there. I mean, we were down at Christmas and New Year's, and he was there, and it was freezing cold. It's so nice, and he sings really gently with his acoustic guitar. And then in the summertime, he gets invaded, and I like to think of them as the evil buskers because they have amplification, which I don't think is breaking the rules, and it's not for charity either. So,
or do you just make sure? Do you pointedly go and put extra?
Oh, definitely, really like angry pound coin.
Does he do Cornish song as well?
Well, you probably know more than me. I don't quite know. I don't know.
Trelawney, bit of Trelawney.
How's that go?
And shall Trelawney live, and shall Trelawney die, 100,000 Cornish men shall know the reason why. It's like that.
Wicked.
Plenty more where that came from. What's your next?
Jingle for our podcast?
Yes, it can. That's what I've been waiting for.
But that's how I kind of started off. That was my first job, as being a busker.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Whereabouts did you used to busk?
Outside C&A in Nottingham.
Excellent.
That was our patch. And so we used to go, mostly in a string quartet.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's terrifying now. I don't even know if it'd be safe now. We just...
Do people still do it up there? Do you see them?
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But C&A were very accommodating, and they used to be a small stall in the ladies' changing room, which they used to lend to our cellist. So she used to go fetch the stall out of there. We used to sit there, and we used to play Pachelbel's Canon on repeat, because that's the only piece of music that we used to get any cash for.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
But you know, we really did all right out there. It was much better than a kind of proper holiday job.
It totally is. We used to do the same thing. I started Bromley Glades, I did.
Did you?
Yeah. It's great, same Pachelbel, but we sort of came up with a money spinner set. Did you have like a set? Apart from Pachelbel, were there others you could
always start with Pachelbel.
Yeah.
And then you do Ina Kleiner first movement.
Yes.
Then you do the two rondo, the Purcell.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a bit edgy.
I was going to say, that's a bit of a turn-off for some people, isn't it?
Yeah. and then back to Pachelbel, used to bookend it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Did you ever used to do Barbara Sibel Overture?
Oh, God.
Oh.
No.
Wow.
That was like our pièce de résistance.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
I don't think we would have got any cash for that. I don't think we would have been capable.
Well,
really.
the people of Bromley, they were all over that. Did you ever busk, Seb?
I'm trying to think. I've done it. No, not as a child. I've done it in like the Edinburgh Festival.
Oh yeah.
With groups, but not in a local shopping centre. I did stuff at Christmas, like carols and that. In the Royals in Southend.
Oh, lovely.
But yeah, that was like an official thing through the school. So I don't think. No, I missed out on that.
Are you covering your back legally here? Is that why?
It was official. It was all official.
It was all above board through the school.
Did you do that instead of having a job then, or did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you say as a child, but also quite into adults as well.
Yeah,
probably too long.
While I was in college.
Yeah, definitely. Like through university and things like that.
And did you start arranging for that group? Would that be the start of that?
It kind of was. So I don't know if they will remember or not really, but because we were very bored of the endless Pachelbels, just for a bit of fun, I just thought I'm just going to do something that's, just to stop people being bored.
Yeah.
So I did a little mashup, and I have no idea why these were the tunes that I picked, but do you remember the theme to Knight Rider?
Yes.
That was one of them.
That's excellent.
And
Go on.
That's a good riff. And Hawaii 5-0.
Great.
Because of the whole surf thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is this because Jive Bunny was prevalent at the time?
I'd forgotten about that. I think it's probably subconscious. Definitely got in there.
I mean, that was legendary. It's fine.
Yeah. But then kind of did the odd sort of pop tune.
Yeah.
So I can remember doing things like Stand By Me. That was one of the first ones that I did.
That's a good one.
And it was all just a bit of fun, really. I never really took it very seriously. And then many years later, I think I was playing in another quartet that that your good husband Robert played in.
Yeah.
And I'd had to arrange a Take That song for this wedding ceremony.
The Greatest Day.
The Greatest Day.
Yes.
That was the one where it all started.
Yeah.
And so Rob played it and said, "Oh, do you fancy doing some more of these?" And I thought, well, he doesn't have to be polite about it, really. He doesn't have to.
And he wouldn't be. Let's be honest.
I don't think he would. I thought, okay, these people obviously believe in me, and that was really a start of a beautiful thing. Yeah, Rob said, "Would you like to arrange some songs?" And I remember actually the first time he called, and we had this really kind of stilted conversation because I'd never met him before. And didn't really, and it was kind of really formal, and it was like, well, yes, and now I think back to that, I think how ridiculous that was, and I thought, I also remember at the time we had some builders in our house, and one of the first arrangements you commissioned from me was "You Got the Love," and specifically the Florence and the Machine. Florence and the Machine.
Yes.
Version, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely right.
And so I was really diligent, and I was kind of like in the room in the house. I've got my violin out. I was trying to work out, what the chords were and how I could make this work. And the builder next door just shouted, "God, that sounds awful!"
And in one fell swoop,
it was really good. It was really good for my confidence.
And that's such a
fortunately,
great...
we kicked them out, and then I just got on with it in peace after that.
And it's a great arrangement, which is on the first album, isn't it?
A little plug
available,
like a Rooney. It's available for download.
But there are literally hundreds now, aren't there?
Yeah, I added up the other day. I think I'm approaching the kind of 200 mark.
Wowzers.
Just for your quartet? Or?
Yeah, I think we're like, definitely over 150. Few in the pipeline as well.
Yeah, it's great. And it's really so interesting how they've developed over time, because they've always obviously been excellent, but it's kind of like something we were talking to one of our other guests, Johnny, about a while ago, that this thing about writing for the players you have with you at the time. That is so clear now.
Yeah.
It's just such a joy.
Yeah. So when I did Creep, the Radiohead song, and I just decided that the whole melody was going to be viola, because I just knew that when Emma played it, I just thought it's going to be fantastic, and I knew that she could really sort of sell it, And you're definitely in my mind when I write them. And now Verity's going to do this.
That's why, but generally I only have open strings. Thanks, Michelle.
And that's why, because I do the odd Estilo gig myself, but I don't like to write anything above their position for the second violin, because then I might have to play it.
It's so great. And do you still? I mean, has it changed? Do you feel it when you're arranging now?
Yeah.
Back in the early days, do you feel like you've got more space to move away from what you're presented with, or do you still stick to the boundary?
I think it depends on the commission. So obviously, if a bride has commissioned you because she wants to walk down the aisle to a really beautiful love song, then you can't sort of say, but I'm going to make a really dissonant version and reinterpret it in the style of I don't know, some kind of random atonal composer. Not that I do that anyway, really, but I try and sort of stick a bit more to brief with that. But then I think that you've given me the kind of the space and the confidence to know that if I do want to have a little bit of an experiment. So the one that springs to mind is probably when we did Umbrella.
Yeah.
That's on the second album, everyone.
Yes, it is. Another belter.
I really went quite off-piste with that. And I set myself a challenge with that I wanted the actual structure of the song to be the same in terms of, verse, chorus, whatnot. But everything else I thought, no, I'm going to change. Harmonically, I'm going to change it. I want to change the whole feel of the song.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, it's difficult to explain, really. It's a really kind of overtly happy pop song. Yeah. And I love my pop music. I really, really do. But I think if you delve a bit deeper into the lyrics, you can find a way that it could be a little bit darker.
Yeah.
And this sounds really odd, but at the time as well, I'd also been listening to Benjamin Britten's string quartets, as one does. And I can't remember now if it's the first or the second one, but there's one that starts with this incredible just kind of describes a landscape. It just kind of sets a texture, and you can imagine being in that kind of Aldeburgh landscape, and it just felt so lonely.
Yeah.
And I thought, I really want to see if I can merge that kind of texture and that kind of feeling with a Rihanna song.
Yeah,
Because,
that's brilliant.
And you did.
Naturally, that's a normal thing to do, isn't it?
Great. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love that. But it was such a success. It works so well. It's great with those sort of like really glassy sounds and then like the really atonal middle
But
section.
I also remember that we did that, and I think it might have been the last track that we recorded, actually. And I think everyone was quite tired, and you hadn't really played it before, had you? A couple of times,
yeah.
maybe. I do remember it was, towards the end of the session, and me going and going, right, I've got this vision. And it's going to be this, really kind of, bleak landscape, and it's going to be fragile. And you just looking at me, and I thought they think that I've really lost it. But you just, it's amazing because you just really went for it. And
That's brilliant.
What did you do then? What were the sort of little techniques you did to create that mood? String techniques, things. Was it?
I went for
String techniques.
I went for some kind of like long, high pedal notes in the violins, and lots of pizzicato.
Yeah.
And the cello, not necessarily being where you would expect it to be.
Yeah.
And decided that the melody had to be the same, but I was interested in exploring that kind of dissonance and resolving the dissonance as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
That's a good one.
Do you always, when you arrange, do you do it within Sibelius or?
I do,
or something like that?
I am
one of those.
pretty much, always use Sibelius.
Yeah, but always within a. Because do you ever try doing it within Logic or something like that?
No, I haven't. I feel also because I've never been a Mac user as well, and
Right,
I always feel that's like I'm really scared. So I'm
Such a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got. Well, my husband's a composer, and he is adamant that the best version of Sibelius was like version 1.4 or something like that. And he still uses that. And now, whenever if we get a new computer, he has to sort of ring up the office and say, please can you send me a version 1.4 of it? And we're like, but why? Why don't you have the most up-to-date? No, I want that one. So I think, especially because the main thing is that you want to work quickly and you don't actually want it to get in the way.
No.
Yeah.
And so, because what's the new one now? Oh,
Dorico.
Dorico.
Yeah. I've been using that one.
Have you?
Yeah.
How have you got on with it?
I really like it. It's the engraving side of things is really good.
It looks very good. It does look very good.
I just got so annoyed with things on Sibelius just not lining up properly, like like rehearsal mark boxes not being in line. I don't know, just things like that. I just want everything because I arranged for my group and we. You just want everything to be like as sight readable as possible. And that's
definitely,
so important.
Yeah.
And clear, and just try and have just like 4 bars per line, or you can't always do that, but just things like that. And I just found that really tricky in Sibelius to do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I downloaded a trial.
Yeah.
But I couldn't work out how to write the title. This is really bad. I thought, if I can't put the title, then I'm just not going to persevere this at all. And after about an hour, I nearly threw it out the window actually, and then I just went back to Sibelius. And just merrily carried on.
It took me ages to get to know it, but now I know all the
maybe
finger
I'll
things. But
yeah, maybe I will.
Yeah, but what was interesting, I watched Jacob Collier.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
He's amazing. He did like a live video of him talking through Moon River that he arranged.
Right.
He just won the Grammy a couple of days ago for best a cappella arrangement for that tune. And he said he used to, his old videos he'd do of like 12 of him singing. Flintstones made the he said he always used to do that in Sibelius and write it out, and then he'd just record each track, each part.
Oh wow.
But now he does it all within Logic, and he's always just sat there with his microphone and he just improvises loads of ideas. And that one actually there's no click track to that one. It's all just his own. He just puts his own rhythm, but it's not. So he's not tied into that side of things. So he said it's the most freeing thing. So
I suppose if you are working at that end of, when you're actually the person that's producing the performance, when you're the artist, and there is that element of improvisation as well.
Yes.
Then I think, that sounds fantastic. I think Sibelius is very much the kind of classical, just kind of get the manuscript out and give it to someone else to play.
Yeah, that's right. I guess he's simultaneously creating the tune as well.
Yeah.
But I just wondered, I'm interested in trying that technique, just to see coming at an arrangement from a different angle, and just, so you're not thinking about the notation at all, and just thinking about just what sounds good.
Yeah, sure. And I think the other thing that I try and do is not always just sort of sit at the computer or at the keyboard, because that seems crazy to me, because I'm not arranging for a keyboard, I'm arranging for a string quartet, so a lot of them will come about with me literally just kind of getting out my violin or viola and working out where should this lie, where feels good for this, what key feels good for this. When we did Get Lucky, that was nearly all conceived actually by me, with the instrument, working out how those little riffs were going to fit together. And I even remember sort of recording it just on my iPhone and just on those little
voice memo thing. Yeah,
exactly, and sort of working out how I could layer it up. And I don't think I would have come up with that if I would have just sat at a keyboard.
No, absolutely, because that's the sort of thing, if you just listening to it, you're not listening to it naturally thinking there's a quartet arrangement waiting to happen, are you, when you listen to Get Lucky?
No.
But it just works so fantastically because of those layers of rhythm that you put into it and the way that it sits, and it's not trying to be too exacting.
No, that's another one where I just thought I'm not going to try and replicate or do a kind of version of the original. It has to be its own thing, really. It has to be of its own genre. So,
So what sort of thing, when you get a commission, what are the ones that do you have ones that you instantly think I'm really looking forward to doing that one, that's going to be a good one? And
Absolutely.
What are those components that make it feel like that?
I think whenever there's been a Queen song,
yes,
I've thought
epic.
Yes, because they're just fantastic songs. They're absolutely fantastic songs. And it's funny with pop music, because I think when you listen to pop music, so much of it is just based on your own nostalgia.
Yeah.
And sometimes there are songs from my childhood, and I don't even know if they're any good or not.
Yeah.
I just think because they're so caught up, and it reminds me of a certain time or place. It reminds me of when I was on holiday and I was this many years old. Or it reminds me of the lower school disco, or But I think when I hear songs like the Queen stuff that I've done, I'm a little bit too young for that. So so I just come to it with no association whatsoever, and you just actually listen to it as a song in its own right, and that's when you really listen to it. My God, this is just great. Brilliant. It's really great stuff. So I was definitely excited to do. I don't know how many, probably 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's so great. Do you guys have any Queen?
Yeah, I was thinking about that when you mentioned about something that a bride's requested for a wedding, and we did a wedding once, and someone asked for us to do "Don't Stop Me Now" as I think it was their first dance.
Excellent.
So I started arranging it, and I realised that there's a similarity in the verse. Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. The chords are the same as Match of the Day. So I did that, but then that also means
Question of Sport.
Question of Sport. It is Question of Sport, not Match of the Day. Question of Sport. Oh yeah, you're right. Question of Sport.
Oh yes. No, it's Grandstand.
That's it. Grandstand. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? Because I'm sure that Vic and Bob did. They sang a version of Question of Sport. Do you remember the starts on Vic and Bob? Sorry, just to go from that Donald and Davy starts.
Oh, the start.
Amazing. And they did
so
Question of Sport. Not real sport, just sporting thoughts. Sorry, we've digressed a bit, haven't we? Grandstand.
That was it. And So I did that, but that also means you have to add in a fifth bar, which is not in the original. And so the version we played at this woman's wedding was nothing like Queen at all. We didn't even get to rehearse it. We just played it.
Their first dance.
Yeah,
Had they planned the dance?
It was one of those. It was at
Totally.
I think it was at. Is it Scion House?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So it was, it's like conservatory.
Yeah.
It was in that room, but it was that part of. I mean, everyone was outside smoking and doing cocaine or whatever they were doing. Some rich people.
I think the quartet are always there at the civilised end
we
of the day.
That.
We always miss it.
Apart from we've got one venue where we play, where that time of day is the day. It's amazing, and we have like a point system, and like you can get amazing points. Like, has the bride and groom either of them got any kind of facial scarring from the night before? Have either of them been arrested by the Toastmaster before, or fathers of the bride or mother of the bride? And we've had that. We've had the works. We've had a groom with a black eye turn up.
Oh my God.
And both fathers of the bride and groom had both been arrested by the Toastmaster previously. As he said, "Don't worry though, it's all water under the bridge now." Amazing. It's an amazing place. I love it.
I often sort of go home and you're at home, having a cup of tea later and think, I wonder how that's all going back there now.
And then that's when Seb and his lot might have
We turn
appeared.
up. We did an 80s night recently, so we had to I had to rework that. We couldn't play it in that state.
Yeah.
And I found that really hard actually, because I used the original Sibelius file to work from that. And I should have just started again, just fresh.
That's a tricky one. Yeah, I've had that before.
It took me ages. I don't know why. Because you're sort of deleting all the time as well, and it would have just been better to just.
Clear.
I think I work.
Sheet.
I'm a lot more efficient now than I've been when that was like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I'd know what to do quickly.
Yeah.
It'd be clean and quick.
Yeah, and then you've got all those muddied thoughts from before anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Was it grandstand? Was it match the day?
I know. I can't
Oh,
remember.
God.
Question of sport. I really like. How does question of sport go?
Oh man.
Oh God. Question sport.
Question of sport.
All I can think is
Question
question sport.
Well
Come on,
done.
Sue. Is it still Sue Barker?
I don't think it's still on, is it?
Is it? I think it is, but like at some ungodly hour.
Oh.
It's a filler at about 2 o'clock in the morning, I think.
It's funny though, you mentioned Don't Stop Me Now, because we're here today at the Royal Festival Hall. The last time I was here, I was actually, because I do quite a bit of teaching and coaching and educating is I think it's
One of your children approaching, is it?
And last time I was here, it was with a quartet that I coached of young people, and we entered the Music for Youth. They have a kind of thing that you enter and you get picked and play in the concert. And amazingly, my quartet of absolute stars got picked.
Yes.
And they came here and they played Don't Stop Me Now.
Oh.
But they played it on the stage at the Royal Festival Hall, and I thought, God, because all the other ensembles, there were massive orchestras.
Yeah.
Like there was a full symphony orchestra, and there was a massive orchestra of steel, a group of steel pans, and it was all. And my 4 lonely little quartet players walked on stage, and I thought, my God, if that was me, I would have had to be seriously medicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
The terror, the terror that would have gone through.
Yes.
It
My
can feel
mind and
lonely
body.
if you're in a small group on that stage.
Yeah.
It's a big
really
old
is.
stage, and there were a lot of people. There were a lot of people there, and they were absolute stars. And I think it's like the kind of
That's great.
fearlessness of youth.
Yeah.
Because I would have just been in an absolute state about it, and they marched on and they sat there and they absolutely stormed it, and then they marched off again. I thought,
Nice.
That's so good.
so lovely.
It's such a blessing for them having you, because with all, the arrangements as well, just how brilliant that you can take them into.
Oh, God,
no,
there's
they
another
must
one.
love it. Do you try things out on them?
Well, yeah, but they're brutal.
Yeah,
they're
really.
absolutely brutal. They won't be polite about stuff.
Yeah.
So I have to be careful, because I did try and do. I took Taylor Swift, Shake It Off
Yeah.
to a quartet not so long ago, like this. I think also to them, I still think that that's quite current, you know. And they were probably like 5 or something, and it's like old people music. It's like 2014 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they were not having it, really. They just thought it was an embarrassment.
Oh, I know, they're hard, aren't they? They are hard.
Yeah, it's harsh. I'm doing the theme from Married Life.
I love that.
No, sorry.
That's
right,
that TV show.
The theme from
Married
Life.
The theme from Up, which is called Married Life.
I love it. It's so...
and the viola player stopped and said, "Oh, Michelle, this is iconic."
Yes.
I don't think she meant my arrangement. I think she meant, the actual, the whole thing. They were really into that. Yeah.
Oh. One of my favourites is the theme, the Muse song from the Olympics, and nobody ever lets me play it. They're like, no, now's not the time.
Oh, is that
Survival?
Survival.
Survival.
You know?
It brings back happy memories.
Well, that's exactly why I love
feel
it.
It's no longer.
Was that in the opening ceremony, that one?
They used to play it in every stadium at the beginning, just before each event.
Yeah.
It just gets me every time. We were discussing this earlier, just before we started, saying to Seb that, like me, the Olympics was your favourite time. I think that would be fair to say ever. Oh,
it was, wasn't it?
It was
the best.
It was the best time.
It was the best
really
bit.
Was.
It was the best time
across the board.
I was talking
for the whole...
the decade, just in general, and that was definitely the best bit of the decade. And then it just all went
really gone
down.
Very quickly, didn't it?
Very bad, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
And from such an inclusive time when everyone was so lovely to each other, and all the things we thought would go so wrong, like transport systems and.
I was thinking as well about the flag, the Union flag.
Yeah.
You saw it everywhere, and it was an amazing sight to see. And you look at it today, like literally today, and it's like it's changed what it means now.
It goes through cycles.
Because we're recording this on the day of Brexit. Just for context for the listener.
Yeah, it is a sense of doom.
It's a very sense of doom.
I mean, I know that when I was younger, that the Union Jack, it felt a bit out of bounds, really, because it did feel a bit like, is this a bit like the National Front, you know?
Yeah.
And then there was that whole Britpop thing.
Yeah,
that's right.
And there was I felt like, it was 97, and there was the whole Blur and Oasis and
Jerry
Cool
Halliwell.
Britannia and the Jerry Halliwell dress, and then it was Tony Blair and blah blah, and I felt like, no, I think actually it's acceptable to be have an affiliation with flag, and then it kind of the Olympics, and it was all good, and now it's like, no, don't show that.
That thing, did you see that in Brussels they changed all the lights in the square last night to red and blue?
So generous.
It's so amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
And the way it's so upsetting the way that they're speaking about inclusivity towards us still, and then Farage and his gang just being so appalling, behaving so badly.
Yeah. It's just so that the way they just go high and just we go so low.
I know.
But I think as musicians we sort of take it for granted, because it is very much a community where it's, people do just sort of come from all over the place, and we really just don't think twice about it.
No, absolutely.
But I read a book recently by, I'm probably going to get the name wrong, it's called Middle England, and I want to say it's by Jonathan Coe. There's a fantastic chapter, and it's actually a chapter all about the opening ceremony of the 2012 Olympics, and he describes different people watching the ceremony, and people that I really identify who are crying with joy because they just think this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But then what we maybe weren't aware of were all the people watching it who thought, well, this is just ridiculous, isn't it? And they were there, definitely were there, bubbling under the surface. But I think I was a bit ignorant of it at the time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Well, it was so. It felt like there was an overwhelming wash of positivity, so we kind of could almost ignore that. Bubbling under.
Yeah, which is actually quite dangerous, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's where we've gone spectacularly wrong, isn't it?
I'm trying to move from anger and upset to understanding at this stage.
Yeah.
I've noticed that's very good. Very impressive.
I'm not massively successful at it yet, but...
So, what are your next projects? What's on the go?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's February, so it's February tomorrow, so not much.
Yeah.
Really.
Have you paid your tax bill yet?
I paid my tax bill yesterday.
Oh yeah, me too. I did that last night.
Me too.
Yeah, don't like to do it too early.
No, I don't want them to get the interest.
No.
No, but I feel like leave it till the 31st would be really cutting it fine. So it's the 30th. Well, I mean, I've got lots more quartet ideas.
Oh, brilliant. That always pleases me to hear.
Good.
Yeah.
I've kind of like always, I keep finding lists everywhere and it'll just have the name of some random song on it.
Oh, it's great.
There was a really funny one the other day. It was something like, I can't remember, it was a Kate Bush song or something like that, but then it said in the style of a Collier, or I can't remember. And I just think, wow, I have no idea what that was about. Yeah. But no, definitely I'm going to kind of, keep going through my list of not only commissions but also ones that I want to do because I want to do them.
Yeah. Well, something you guys do. You've done complete art albums, haven't you?
Yeah.
Artists. This is something we've discussed in the past.
We've done the first one we did was the Arctic Monkeys' first album.
Right.
Whatever people say I am, that's what I'm not.
Fantastic. Yeah.
It's a long title. Then we did the Strokes' first album. Then the Killers' first album. Then we did Oasis's first album.
Oh, brilliant.
And then we're going to do Block Party's. It's always first albums.
Yeah.
We're going to do Block Party's first album, and then we're going to do What's the Story Morning Glory in the summer because it's been 25
Brilliant.
years. And actually, but we started doing those, and they're so great because there's a proper like arc to the show. Because before we used to just do whatever songs we wanted.
Yeah.
And because we've had to do quite a lot in a short amount of time, everyone's up their game. Like, so everyone's been arranging, and we've had limited time to workshop it, and it's been brilliant projects, and because the crowds, because I mean I'm sure they'd much rather see the actual band do it, but they're so excited to hear all the songs, and to hear it in album order as well, because they're all those albums they're from a time when they're all sort of noughties or 90s albums, and everyone had the CD of it, so you always knew what song was coming next.
Yeah, you couldn't even know like what key it's going to be in.
Exactly, yeah. I miss that. You don't get that anymore.
Do you know, I was thinking that the other day. That's a really sad thing about. I mean, when's the last time that you sat down and listened to an album from start to finish? I do it. But it's probably quite rare.
Yeah, far less. Although in the car, maybe.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
I get irritated when my phone tries to shuffle it.
That's not on, is it? Really?
No.
Yeah, but I mean that used to happen. I was thinking about albums that used to grow on you. Yeah. It used to be a big thing when you bought a CD or an album, and it used to be a real commitment because they were quite expensive. And so you used to get it and think, I don't really like it actually. Well, I'm just going to persist. Yeah. But actually that is quite a good thing sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a very sort of instant thing now that if you're streaming something and after half a minute, I don't like this one.
Yeah.
It's
write things off too quickly.
Yeah.
That's just everything, don't you think? There's so much immediacy to everything. Absolutely. Is that the word? Immediacy? Yeah. There we are. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
I think, I don't know, maybe I can get you to commit now.
Well, I was just going to say, what if you were going to do an album for us? what would you go for?
It wouldn't be in the original style because it wouldn't really be possible, but I'd really like to do Nevermind by Nirvana.
Amazing. Amazing.
And I've thought about it, and I have sort of sat and listened through and thinking, I'd do this one like this and I'd do this one like that. I would love that.
Oh, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Okay, so
it's 1/4 of a quarter hour, so absolutely, yes.
Okay.
I'm throwing my hat in the ring.
What about some Radiohead? Are you a Radiohead fan?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So
what's your favourite Radiohead album? The best of Radiohead.
OK Computer, I think.
Yeah.
Which song with Creep on it?
Pablo Honey.
I like that one.
I love In Rainbows. I think that's my favourite one. And the Bends.
Oh, that's great.
All of those I'd love to do those on brass.
Yeah.
Because we've done a Paranoid Android, and that was great. And I think OK Computer is probably recognised as like being their probably their best album,
I know
isn't
it's
it?
a really obvious choice. I'm always going to
But it is good.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid
Yeah.
that
No,
is,
it's good.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good. But I think there's some beautiful stuff in. I just love In Rainbow so much, like Nude and Reckoner and all those. They'd work so well with on strings, I think, and on brass.
Yeah.
What's the one with Pyramid Song?
Oh yeah, Amnesiac.
Is that, yeah.
Pyramid Song.
And
That's
that,
great.
I think it's fantastic. And is it something to do with the time signature, or something to do with the shape of a pyramid or something?
Yeah, something like that.
It's like
It goes up by one.
Yeah, and it's like 4 at the base and 3 around the sides, or
Is it like 4 4 3 4
something
2
like
4
that.
1 or something like that?
Something. I don't. Yeah.
4, 4, 2.
4.
Going back to the day. 4, 2, 1, 4.
Christmas tree formation.
You know the film Drive?
Oh yeah.
They did a complete new album of just re-soundtrack the whole thing.
Oh right.
That would be such an amazing thing to do as well.
Yeah.
I've always fancied doing
You
something
know what
like that, re-soundtracking.
I'd love to happen. I don't want to do it. It's fine. But Chariots of Fire,
Oh wow!
which is just such a fantastic film.
Yeah.
I feel the one thing for me that maybe people would disagree, but that does date it is the kind of synthesizerness,
Yeah.
which makes quite a sort of it's just a bit incongruous to me to hear all of that sort of electronicness.
Yeah, that's so true.
That's not a word, is it? Electronic. Yeah. I think somebody should orchestrate it, and that you remember those all those concerts that everyone does now with the film and live orchestra.
Yeah.
Should do Chariots of Fire with a live orchestra.
Yeah,
It'd be
newly
amazing.
scored.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a dry iron house.
No.
And I think
Do
I
it.
should be on some kind of commission for just suggesting the idea.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you heard it here.
It's a great
folks.
idea.
It is an excellent idea. Why don't you do it? Go on.
How does that work? Is it really expensive to get the license of the film? I don't know.
I would have thought so.
Because there's a lot of films that are starting to become in the public domain as well. So you can just do it for free, or commission, write new music for it. You know, there's loads.
God, that's a whole.
There's going to be loads. Every year there's
isn't it?
more.
That would be really cool, wouldn't it? To have, because that's a massive thing, this live orchestra and film thing. But then to put a new spin on it, where you're actually recomposing stuff, that would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's like
Perhaps we shouldn't tell anyone this.
Should we can we edit this out?
Edit this
please?
bit.
Yeah. Censored.
I'm trying to remember the name. Let me just look it up. They did the General, Buster Keaton.
Oh.
But they wrote new music for it.
I know that. Wasn't it the Pet Shop Boys that did Battleship Potemkin or something like that? One of those old,
Yeah.
really old
Yeah.
20s films. I feel
Did
like
you see
I'm
it?
really talking about stuff that I don't
No,
really
I was
understand
thinking.
now.
That's
I
it.
feel a little bit unsure.
Haiku Salute, they're called.
Oh right.
Okay.
No.
There are three girls, accordion and strings, I think.
Yeah. Oh.
But they've done stuff for public service broadcasting. But they did a show where they wrote new music for the Buster Keaton.
Oh,
General.
brilliant.
So it's a great idea. Like there's,
Yeah.
Also, you should find films that have got really bad soundtracks and make them better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem. People are going to pick films that have already got a really good soundtrack.
Yeah,
It's like when
exactly.
people remake films. They remake films that are already good films. You don't want to do that. You want to get a really
Find a
terrible
crap
film,
one.
do
Yeah.
a better version of it.
Yeah. You've been doing some larger scaled arrangements, haven't you? I was just looking. Is this right? You've been doing some things for kids with. So the play side by side with full orchestra.
Oh yeah, so that was a while back actually, but because I do quite a lot of teaching and writing arrangements for young people, and it's a few years back. My husband wrote an amazing arrangement of Pictures and Exhibition for strings.
Brilliant.
And I just had this idea that this would be a really great way to get young people involved. So we had this really madcap plan. So we run an orchestra together called the Cohen Ensemble, We were called the Isis Ensemble.
I was going to say, oh dear, dear, oh dear.
Yeah. So
was that a huge palaver, changing the name?
It wasn't really. It was just deciding to do it was the worst thing about it, really.
Yeah.
And we thought, no, we're going to stick to it, because it was called the Isis Ensemble because it was named after the river in Oxford, which is, anyway. And we thought, no, we're going to follow this through. It's fine, there's a good reason for it to be called this. But it just got to the point where we couldn't post anything on social media without someone going, are you run by Osama bin Laden? Or, no, that's
I'm
not,
just getting
that's
blocked by Twitter
anyway.
all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So we just had to do it. But anyway, that's beside the point. But we did this. So Jakes did this fabulous arrangement, and then I kind of did modifications of some of the easier movements, so that younger players could sort of play. Well, some of them, if they're a bit more advanced, they could join in a few.
Yeah.
And then there was sort of like beginner parts, and then it led up to at the end when it's the Great Gate of Kiev. I worked out just open string parts, and at the time I was doing a whole class wider opportunities project with. I was doing 2 of them actually, so I was teaching 60 beginners.
Wow.
And they started in the September, and they had 10 lessons in their whole class. I mean, it does give you a nervous breakdown, for sure.
Yeah.
But so at the end of their 10th lesson, I managed to teach them to, be able to hold the bow and just about scrape it across the string. And we learnt to play along, and so we pitched up to the concert in kind of the hugest school hall that you can imagine, because we had to fit in, I think there were about 200 performers by the end, and they all joined in. So it got to the Great Gate, and they all stood up, and they all joined in. It was very moving.
That's
It was incredibly moving. I mean, I really kind of nearly lost it. So
that's
cute.
incredible for them,
Yeah.
Just think that, playing, being so early on in your ability and being able to play something so epic.
Yeah,
it's brilliant, isn't it?
That's the thing, and that's the thing that I really remember. I don't know about you guys, but I remember the first time I sat and played in an orchestra, and that feeling is, I can't really put that into words. Really, something just came to life. Yeah.
Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra used to get sent down to the wilds of Cornwall to come and play with us.
Oh, really?
Oh, bless them. Because my school orchestra was made up of me on the cello and about 7 or 8 flutes, and these boys that I used to call the Ratty Twins who played percussion in like the loosest.
Why were they called the Ratty Twins?
They just looked like big rats with drumsticks. Oh. God, there were a few violins, but they really barely played. So I remember them. We did a thing in Liscard Leisure Centre, playing the 1812 Overture. I think my mum, it still makes her laugh when she thinks about it to this day. I don't think it was the nicest thing. They went for it, those ratties, though. What they didn't have in ability, they made up for in, volume.
Yeah. But that's why I think it's quite important. That's why I feel committed to teaching young people. Because,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a life changer, really.
And what do you think, group to individual lessons? What's your feeling on that?
I don't think that. I think one-to-one's always going to be best.
Yeah,
definitely. But it's just not always practical.
No.
So. I mean, I was thinking back actually earlier when I started, and it was amazing because I just got given this opportunity to play the violin. And it came from nowhere, really.
Yeah.
And I was given one-to-one lessons straight off the bat. And never paid for them.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I didn't even know I wanted to play the violin. We used to have this thing, I don't know if you did it, called the Bentley test at school.
No.
And they sat us all in a room. I would have been 7 at the time. They sat us all in a room and sort of got this old like reel-to-reel tape recorder out, and this man's voice came out, I'm going to play 2 sounds. Tell me if the first one is higher or lower, or something, say which one. And it started off like massive intervals, like ooh, and then by the end it was getting into real microtones. And it was quite interesting, so I like filled it all in.
Yeah.
And then And then it turned out that I got the top mark in the class on the pencil. Yes. And so
is that on your CV, by the way?
I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go home and do it now.
Make sure it is. Yeah.
So that's my greatest achievement. And they said, do you want to play an instrument? And I was like, well, all right then. And I think the violin was the only instrument in the cupboard at the time.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that they had to ring my mum to like get permission that I could have violin lessons. And my mum, bless her, said, well, yeah, I'm not sure really if Michelle should do violin because, you know, she's done like brownies, stamp collecting, horse riding test. She never sticks at anything. So maybe give it to a little girl who really wants to do it, you know. But I was just waiting for the thing that was going to be my thing. I remember that first lesson.
Yeah.
And I was just obsessed. From the first moment, I was obsessed by it. But I never had to pay a penny.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Yeah.
It's completely changed now, hasn't it?
Yeah. And I think, you know, we do what we can with whole class learning, and that's a fantastic opportunity. But then there always comes that point after that project ends, after 2 terms, 3 terms, where you say, right, well, who wants to carry on? And like lots of hands go up. And then they say, well, here you go, it costs so much a month, and then you've got to hire an instrument, blah, 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 and it just dwindles. And
yeah, exactly.
with the greatest will in the world, there's not really anything you can do.
No, absolutely. It's just not enough funding there, is there, to do?
No.
There's nobody in my son's school that my eldest son is the only child in that school who has, as far as I know, I could be wrong, there might be in the dark, but there's no other orchestral instrumental players apart from him and my other son who's just started trumpet in the entire school, and he's in a 4-form entry school, so there are hundreds of children there. I think he's the only violinist I think he's the only orchestral instrumentalist in the school apart from poor old Henner's on his trumpet.
Yeah. I don't know if I mentioned this on this before, but there was a podcast I listened to with Ed Miliband, his podcast, and Geoff, Lloyd, is it? But it was like a special live version at Abbey Road, and they would talk about music education. Yeah. And they talk about how the music industry in this country is as big as the banking industry of this country. It provides the same amount of revenue.
Really?
Because of all
this.
I mean, all the amazing, you know, British acts we've got, you know, from the Beatles to Adele and all that. And it's just mad that there's not that investment from an early age.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes no sense, does it?
Oh, hello there. It's Seb here. Just thought I'd interrupt past version of myself just to tell you that I got that fact there. You know, that one I just said about the music industry being as profitable as the banking industry. That was totally wrong, obviously. I've listened to the podcast now, and I've written down exactly what the lady said, and it is as follows. In terms of the GDP, the music industry in the UK produces £4.5 billion a year. Creative industries as a whole produce £100 billion a year. Now that is the same value as both the construction industry and the banking sector. So there we go. I hope that's cleared things up. I've linked to the episode in question of Reasons to be Cheerful with Ed Miliband and Geoff Lloyd. It's a really fascinating episode, actually, and it's down there in the show notes. Anyway, thanks for listening to the facts. I didn't really want to be spreading any lies, not in this post-truth world. Here we go. Back to the Royal Festival Hall. Abbey Road and Air, they get used all the time for film soundtracks, and you need orchestral players as well as the pop stars. And it is strange that that the government don't see that and as something to invest in.
There is a reason why all of those Hollywood movies, so many of them are recorded here in London town.
Yeah.
We just have the best.
The quality
is
it's true.
Great.
And I don't think people are really aware of it outside
this small
little bubble.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Have you dabbled in arranging for other instruments? Have you moved into brass, woodwind?
A little bit.
Recorder.
I did some saxophone quartets.
Did you?
Yeah.
How did you find that?
It's confusing because of the whole clef business.
Yeah.
Because everything's in treble clef.
Oh,
What was that all about?
Oh, yeah.
just learn to do another clap. It's not difficult. Sorry to my saxophone friends. So that was a bit, anything that transposes, I have to really sit and have a long think about it. I've done bits and bobs. I did. A friend of mine is involved in a really great project called Street Orchestra that basically just takes an orchestra out to a town and just starts playing. And obviously, it's like that Muhammad in the Mountain thing, isn't it, really? And they always get a really great response. And I did some arrangements for them, and that involved having to work out what plays in what key and what transposes where, and I had to recall my oboe playing days back in the back in the mists of time to think about that for a little bit. But and that was really good fun. It'd be great to do more of that as well.
Yeah, must be just like a complete different skill set, isn't it? To try, I guess. I think so.
Yeah.
I guess for strings.
I've not really, no. Because I know brass so well.
Yeah.
Anything else would just be, it'd be such a difference.
Irrelevance.
I think that's the thing that freaks me out a bit. Also, when you have so many different parts, like I don't know what to do with them all.
Yeah.
I'm so used to cramming everything into four. Right, they can do that, they can do that. And it's an embarrassment of riches, really.
It's true.
Yeah, I find that really hard. Though, when you just got this, I could give everyone the tune at the same time.
All do the tune now. Everyone.
It fits. To bookend this podcast, seeing as I did some Cornish, well, do you want to do something from Southend? Feel free. You are from, that is right.
Yeah. Southend-on-Sea, it's the place for you and me. Southend-on-Sea, the place to take the family. A stroll along the pier will make you fit and strong. It's good for young and old, you really can't go wrong at Southend, Southend-on-Sea.
Oh, my.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Did you just make that up on the spot?
Yeah, made it up. No, I don't.
That's great.
I don't know where that's from. I guess that's an old promotional advert.
That's incredible. I don't think we had any of those for Nottingham. I really... No.
Pressure's on.
We've got Robin Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've got Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Robin Hood, with his merry men.
Oh, yeah.
Feared by the bad, loved by the good.
Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood.
Michelle, are you in Cornwall?
I am. I'm trying to keep a low profile because there's a lot of hostility here
My God.
to the second homeowners. We just ended up here by accident, really, because basically our diaries just emptied within the space of about 24 hours, like everyone's did. And we just felt really glum. So we thought, we'll pop down to Cornwall for a week. And that was 8 weeks ago.
Oh, how's it been there? Have you been going out and walking on the beach and things?
That's the joy, really. That it is just about a mile down the road. So I feel really lucky to be able to do that. It's just that we just weren't expecting this to happen, and we came with a week's worth of clothes in a suitcase, and we came in the middle of March when it was winter coats and wellies, and
so have you now got a full selection of I Heart Padstow t-shirts then in every colour?
Well, no, because you can't get anything. So I have done a lot of knitting. Because I think
bikinis,
just craft your own clothing. And yesterday we did crack, and we've done an emergency Amazon Prime order of clothing. Lord knows what's going to happen when that turns up. I mean, we're just going to have to make the best of it, really.
So, funnily enough, we were talking about just before before we came on with you that I was re-listening to our earlier interview, and it was Brexit Day. And we were saying at the time, God, wasn't the world great in 2012? And now look at it. And and don't you just hark back to those days of Brexit?
The glory days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was obviously thinking back to that day as well, because I knew I was going to be talking to you, and just thinking, though, I think for a while there was sort of something in the air. We sort of heard a little bit about this virus, didn't we? And I just felt for a while, especially going into town, you could see that people were a bit uneasy, and
absolutely.
there was just a sense of unease, I think, and that was probably one of the last times. So it was the end of January. It was one of the last times when I sort of felt that it was normal, and then it just started to, unravel, I think, after that, didn't it?
It was quite interesting as well, listening back, because we recorded it in the Royal Festival Hall, so there's just a general hubbub as well while we're talking, and it just made me feel so nostalgic. I text Verity and I said, it just makes you feel sad. And she thought I was talking about the technical things of having to get rid of the background noise, but I just actually felt a bit sad.
I thought he had very sensitive ears.
I know, it's just that thing of just being in a foyer with people around.
I'd love a hubbub.
A hubbub. Oh, wow.
And Michelle, are you finding that being there and in the calm and the quiet, is it helping your creative juices flow?
No. Well, I think, like everyone says, they're quite up and down with this, and obviously there are times when I think it's fantastic to be here because you see nature and you hear nature, and you see springing, and it's absolutely beautiful. But I'm certainly not one of these people who kind of unlocked all this creative energy in this process. I've struggled, to be honest. I've had little moments, but mostly I think I'm finding it quite hard because we do our stuff so we can play together, and when you know that that's not going to happen, then it almost takes away the impetus to do things. I know, I did an arrangement for you guys, the Estilo guys, and
it's great.
And oh, bless you, sent it over, but then thought, but when's anyone actually going to play it? And so then I felt a bit glum and haven't really done anything since then. Whoops, but we'll get there.
Yes, we will. We will. Are we allowed to talk about your exciting project, possibly?
I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, but the really good thing that happened was that actually the timing was absolutely amazing, because just as all of this lockdown was kicking off, I got an email from someone at Decca asking if I could do some arranging.
Woohoo!
Are you free? Yeah. Until I think about 2022, probably at this rate. So the timing was, it couldn't have been better. Sorry, that's Jake's has just come in. Hello.
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 It's a small house, so there will be ambient noise. So that's great because it gave me something concrete to do, and that has been the creative thing that I've been doing at the moment. Because if you've got to do it, then you've got to do it, haven't you? You're not waiting for the muse to arrive, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got some deadlines already, have you?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been and gone now, so I just wait and see if they'll ask me to do some more, which would be really nice.
Was it many you had to do in one go, Michelle? How many did they ask for initially?
I've just sent off 4 arrangements to them, and I'm just waiting to see if they're all right, or I'll just never hear from them again. It'll be a dust ball. Like, okay, yeah, bye. Next.
No, absolutely not. I heard number 1, and I know it's a good one. So
thank you. Thank you. It's funny, the boy who I just taught before speaking to you guys, the first lesson we had, I played something to him. He said, can you show me how this goes? And I played it to him, and he said, oh, sounds awful. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does. So I'm championing all the people that are finding it quite hard at the moment, because there are some people out there, yeah, it's fine, I'm just carrying on as normal. And I think, well, I'm not. I don't like it.
No, absolutely.
You've got to teach in a very different way, have you? I've only got one student. I'm teaching him once a month, so I've only taught one, one lesson at the moment. So I'm doing another one tomorrow. But so you can't play together. So you have to sort of structure the lessons in a slightly different way, or what? How does it work?
Yeah, I mean, it's very... it makes me realise how many sort of micro interactions I have talking while people are playing, and just a little nudge here, a little nudge there. And obviously you can't do that at all, so it's much bigger blocks of time, and also they get carried away and just sort of go off. And there was someone today who I really just wanted to stop, and they just carried on doing the whole piece. I just looked at my watch and thought, what can I do? Okay, fine.
I heard a story. Someone was saying that they saw one of my friends teaching online, and he just, to get their attention, because they can't hear you when you want them to stop. So he apparently does these really loud like wolf whistles, just to get to shut up, but really aggressive. Just I can't say who it is. 'Cause, he's a trumpet player. But it's very it's such a funny image to picture that. But yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because you say like little micro movements you do, and just things you put your hands down or something, that they'll pick up on those things, and you can just have a nice dialogue. And yeah, you're missing all those things. It's just a bit of a struggle.
I think especially with the younger ones, don't you find I find it really difficult. I think I've said to you already, Seb, in a previous episode, that I've got this one boy who's hilarious, so that he's just like come up with every trick in the book now. I gave him a lesson yesterday, and he tilted the camera so that I couldn't see his face. So goodness only knows what he was saying about me. None of them would have been good things. And then he'll go, when I ask him something challenging, he'll just make it freeze, or he'll mute it or something.
Yeah, it's amazing how the internet connection can become unstable at very crucial points. I've been doing about the Part Play app.
Oh yes, it's brilliant.
So it's a string quartet thing that I think there may be some other instruments as well, but it's mostly string quartet. So you download the app, and basically you choose which quartet you want to play along with, and you can mute sections, so you can mute an instrument. So I've been merrily playing along with that, and it's really interesting. It's really nice when you realise there's someone in the quartet that you know, that you've played with before. So it's sort of like playing with someone from afar. And also, actually, I was having a little play today, some Haydn, and it was the Magini Quartet with David Angel, who sadly died a few years ago. And I just loved David. David was just a fantastic guy, and just a lovely musician. I feel like I learned so much from him, just watching him and how he approached being a second violinist. It's quite inspirational, really. And so lovely that I played along with David on this.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
It was great. It was really nice. So I think we all need to do things like that, don't we, to feel like we're together in some way. So that's why I think your play along is a great idea.
Yeah. I just thought, because I was chatting to someone, I just can see some people just losing their nerve when they do get back to doing concerts, because I feel like you need that. Is it your ego? Is that you to have the bottle to play big solos and not get scared, because it's quite a scary thing really when you think about it. But we get so used to it. If you suddenly have like 6 months off doing it, it's going to be quite hard to get back into that. You kind of run off the success of all your last concerts, don't you? You need that confidence. So it's just that thing of just playing a symphony, just seeing what it feels like, and just knowing that there's some other people doing it at the same time.
Absolutely.
I think might just help you.
And I think we're a bit of a cynical bunch sometimes, musicians, and we moan about things quite a lot. And this has really taught me, actually, that even the people who seem really hardened, actually their job really means a lot to them. Mm-hmm. And they're actually really devastated about not being able to make music. And you've got to try and take positives from situations like this, and I think that's one of them. It's just whether or not there'll be any music to go back to. But hey, have you thought about what it's going to be like when everyone has their first rehearsal back? It's going
a shit shower.
It's going to sound shit. It's just going to be sobbing.
But everyone will just be weeping with joy.
Snotty. Yeah, it's going to be... Can you imagine playing like Mahler 2 or something incredible? Just... I can imagine, like, you know, Beethoven 9. I reckon someone will put that on quite early on. As soon as they can. Yeah. One of those big ones. Oh, my God.
There'll be,
it's
like,
going to be
15 minutes of everyone weeping, and then by the break of the first rehearsal, everyone's going, oh, I don't know why I've done this.
Yes.
Crap.
Exactly. Look at their watches.
Yeah.
That's true.
We'll all go back to how we were before. We're not going to be changed.
Of course we will. I know.
Yeah.
And are you? Have you taken up, apart from knitting, any other strange hobbies or thing?
Eating. I mean...
Yeah, I love that.
Me too. It's great.
Yeah, I knit a bit, and then I walk to the fridge and I pick something out at random. Any combination is fine now. So
it's just running down the clock until you're hungry again.
Yeah. I'm just going to emerge like a big woolen barrel at the end.
But wonderfully knitted.
Yeah, exactly. So soft.
Absolutely.
On telly tomorrow, they're doing life drawing. Tomorrow night on BBC.
Who's doing that then?
Don't know. It's just on BBC. I think it's at like 7 or 8 o'clock, and then I think I might do that.
That sounds good.
I've got a biro and a notepad.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah. I watched some of those on BBC 4 little trips around exhibitions, museums, which are great. There was one at the Ashmolean, I think, in Oxford, and there was one at Tate Modern and one at the British Museum. It's really nice to see a cultural
That's
thing.
nice.
Yeah.
How does that work? Are they just sort of roaming around? And
I think they basically sort of let some cameramen roam around whilst observing social distance, and then got Simon Sharma to talk over the top. But, you know, it's great. What's not to like about that?
Quite right.
Fantastic.
That's good. Speaking of BBC 4 as well, I turned on last night. They had the Young Musician of the Year Woodwind final, so that was quite nice to see some new music performance. That was quite exciting.
I mean, I'm not being rude. I'm sorry to any woodwind players who might be listening, but I would not usually get excited about watching a woodwind final of anything. But I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah. Sure, it's on the iPlayer.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I'll look.
What are they going to do about? What are they going to do about the final?
Oh, maybe. I always think that thing's always way pre-recorded, is it? Or maybe.
Oh, done
I
already.
really feel for young people like that, though. Imagine, you know, you're in year 13 and think how precious those memories were of your last youth orchestra concert together. And
yeah.
And they're talking about doing the first university term back like this through Zoom meetings and stuff like that. Can you imagine Freshers Week via Zoom? I don't think so.
It's really, I think that must be the worst kind of age group, sort of late teens, early 20s. I think it's got to be really hard, because actually, you know, for an old lady like me to be forced to sit in and watch Netflix and knit, that's pretty ideal. Just drinking, eating. But but when you're, you know, young and single and wanting to roam around and go to parties and things like that, then, oh dear. That's tough.
You think of that summer all your life when you've left school. It's in your mind the whole time, isn't it? And for that to go, I don't know. I guess we need perspective on the whole thing. You know, there's lots much worse positions for all sorts. But yeah, that is tough for them. That'll just be them forever. They're the year that they don't get to, don't know, snog loads of people in Freshers Week and
no phone parties.
They'll do it. Yeah, exactly. They'll just catch up. They'll
just be really messed up in their late 30s, early 40s.
There'll be so many people with a midlife crisis.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'd just like to say, it seems like I'm in sepia in this shot. I'm looking at us today. You're in normal colours, and it looks like I'm in sepia. Are you getting that?
Yeah. You look like, when you have a jigsaw that's been in the window of a charity shop for about 10 years, and it's just blue and white.
God, that just sums me up perfectly, doesn't it? It's awful.
What's happened there?
I've no idea. It's really sad. I must sort this out. Oh, Michelle, it's blooming lovely to see you.
It's lovely to see you as well. It's just so exciting.
I know. Well, listen, I can't wait for the other side.
It's really sad, but it is. It is.
It's frosting. It's the highlights for me. Honestly, these lovely Zoom meetings, these catch-ups and chats, it's just absolutely, they're marking my week out really well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But look, on the other side, we'll all come out the other side of this, and we'll play some wonderful music, and I can't wait.
Hurrah, hurrah. I've just realised, actually, Seb, you remind me of kind of Philip Schofield in The Broom Cupboard. You remember him?
Thanks. Gordon the Gopher.
Yeah. You should just get a very small puppet to appear, and then it'd be perfect.
Oh, I haven't got it. I didn't have any sock lying out, which is actually a surprise because I usually have got some dirty clothes somewhere. It's become a hovel, this room.
God.
My little recording studio. Yeah, well, thanks very much.
Thank you.
He's a very good broadcaster. Michelle, we've got like a Spotify playlist which we're adding to.
Okay.
Do you have any songs that you're listening to at the moment? Anything that you feel the need to listen to?
Thanks to Verity here, I've been doing my 10 albums that influenced you.
Oh, yeah.
And have I got to pick a single, or have I got to pick an album?
Anything you like, really.
I've realised that an amazing album is ABC, The Lexicon of Love. And it was only the second album that I ever bought. I was only 8. So I've been such a weird kid. Saving up my pocket money to get some new romantic music as an 8-year-old. But it's fantastic. It really stands the test of time. And it's a real, you listen from start to finish. It's a beauty.
Oh, that's
so
great.
There you go.
Don't know it at all.
I don't know who are they? Is it, what are they called? ABC?
I feel really old now. Yes, they are. They are.
So
you'll
like
know The Look of Love, because that's really famous.
Yes, I know.
But Bacharach?
No.
That's even before that time. Was it so New Romantics? Is it?
It is, but it's produced by Trevor Horn.
Yeah.
And I've been reading a bit into it, and I think they said that they wanted to sort of combine a bit of the angriness of punk with the sort of new romantic movement. But if you remember, well, you won't remember because you weren't born, because I'm old. But
you are not.
They used to wear
no,
gold lame suits, and there are some amazing videos out there also on YouTube.
I'm in already. Gold lame in.
Yeah, go for it.
Great. We'll put some of that on there.
Excellent.
And I'll put it on while I'm making my dinner. So,
excellent.
Looking forward to that. We don't know whether it's because we're relative, idiot amateurs starting doing podcasts. We don't really know how to end a podcast. We don't know how to get to the end of the conversation without going,
okay, then.
That'll do, won't it?
Just sort of fade in some music.
That's what we end up doing, of course. But it's just actually in the moment how to end it with a guest without it being incredibly awkward. And I don't know if it's because we're on Zoom, so that's making it even harder. But I think we'd be just as bad in person.
Shall I just turn it off and go?
Yeah.
Shall I do it?
So rude. Like, drop the mic.
No one's done that yet, but that'd be...
Shall I drop the Zoom mic? Are you ready? Count me down.
Yes.
Go on.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
She's done it.
Oh my God, she did it.
So harsh. But I feel less awkward.
I much prefer that as a way of ending.
Should we make everyone do that?
I think we should do that.
Yeah, we should. Let's do it.
That's good. That's a really great way to end. It's bold. It's confident. It's original.
It's really good because it saves me getting more and more high pitched, because what happens is otherwise I'm going, okay. Yeah. And it gets louder and higher.
Also, we can do an immediate review of how we thought that person was.
Yeah, we can.
Do you think they liked us?
Medium. Yeah.
So we'll give her a quick rating out of 10. So I'd say that was a good 8.
I'd say so too. It was really nice bit of knitting chat. Always marks up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that was nice.
Oh.
As we were saying before we went to the conversation, it was a nice relaxed one. I think because she's a good friend of yours.
Yes.
I'd never actually met her before. But
she's very warm, isn't she? She's just instantly likeable.
Yeah, we instantly just all got on, and it was a nice. Actually, quite interesting with this one. I've not really edited it down much, so it's quite long. But I just thought it was quite a nice, natural conversation. And doing interviews over Zoom, there's always that sort of second delay, so it's just quite nice to wallow in a natural live conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a live room full of people.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice place to just sit and
I think
take it all
been
in.
a school trip or something going on as well. There's one stage, isn't there, where there's just children running and screaming at us. It's amazing.
Yeah, you'll just scream.
Yeah. I saw Michelle on Zoom again this week. We had a quiz, and her and Jake's absolutely trounced the rest of us. So she's
really?
Just to add to her list of talents, quizzing right up there.
What's her specialist subject? Is she just good at everything?
She was good at everything. I mean, she did really well in the intros round. Really well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she knew all the classics.
Well, like pop songs and stuff,
yes.
or was it? Yeah.
I think it was all pop, actually. But she was great. She even got them off one chord and stuff. I mean, she knows her stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, clearly. Yeah. Are you good at quizzes, like generally?
I really love them, and I'm really competitive. But I wouldn't say that my competitive nature matches with my ability. Sadly, I really need somebody with good general knowledge on my team, because I will push them through with a competitive chat. But no. How about you, Seb? Are you good?
I'm okay. In the Zoom quiz, which I sort of seem to be doing once a week with my sort of group of friends, I sort of tend to be in the top maybe 3. Me and Charlotte.
Okay.
But
That's good.
We did win it, I think, maybe the first week. But there's my mate Chris and Holly. They win every week, pretty much.
Do they?
They've got that knowledge, that trivia knowledge.
Yeah. It's very good. And we're quite mid-table, I'd say. It's a shame, really. We're sort of I'm trying to think of a comparison. Would it be like Everton? We're a bit of an Everton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah. That's right. Sort of the Moyes era.
Yeah.
Sort of, constantly sort of 6th, 7th place.
That's right.
Consistent, but never really pushing for Europe.
No, I mean, we'll never be a Liverpool.
The top echelons of the Champions League.
But we're definitely better than a West Ham.
Oh, everyone's better than West Ham.
How's your
I
week?
I can say that as a West Ham fan.
You had a good week?
My week. What have I done this week? This week's gone past so quickly.
Yeah.
Let me think now. I don't know what I've done.
Well, there was Marla.
What day is
Marla
it?
5
Sunday.
on Friday again. That was great.
Oh yeah. So Marla 5 was on Friday. Yeah. So I spent the week kind of trying to get my chops up to that, and didn't feel great. But then on the day, actually felt it all kind of came together. But I still didn't play it perfectly. I split some cracking notes.
I was scuppered by technology, but I still think that even if my phone had been playing when I wanted it to play, I'm not convinced I would have got round a lot of those notes that I missed. The slow movement was amazing, but
that was really nice.
Yeah.
We had a few more people this week. There's I feel like it's slowly building, and more people are going to join. So we had a poll that finished yesterday for next week, and Friday's one is going to be Rachmaninoff's Second Symphony.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Everyone loves that one. I'm trying to think what else I've done this week. I have to check my diary. I've been keeping a diary every day.
That's great. And do you go back over it? Have you been going back over and reading what you've written?
No. I probably will maybe in a few months look back. But so 2 things I've been doing now every day. So I mentioned this to you. I haven't mentioned it on the podcast, but I've been doing something called Morning Pages, which is a thing from the Artist's Way by Julia Cameron.
Right.
Julie Cameron. I haven't actually read the book. I should read the book because I think it might help me. But basically, you get up and the first thing you do, you write 3 pages of A4 stream of consciousness writing. And that's it. So you can just write whatever you want. My friends Jessie and Emma got me into it. They do it every day. And it just helps with your kind of creativity, get everything going.
Yeah. Does it set you up for the day? Do you feel does it motivate
definitely.
you?
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It really helps me just get all that bollocks out of my mind.
Yeah.
Just all that just get all that out. And then you can, and within those 3 pages, you might actually just plan what you can do that day or just say what you were dreaming about or whatever you were thinking about.
Yeah.
And that's out. But then also you've written 3 pages of stuff, which you can go, it makes you feel quite good.
With your new fountain pen, is that right?
Oh, yeah, with my lovely new fountain pen. It's a positive joy writing with that thing.
That is
and then at night, I've been just doing a little 1 or 2 pages of what's happened that day.
very good.
So I've been enjoying that.
Framing your day nicely.
Which
That's
I've never,
good. Because I've
never
writing
been able to keep it
lists.
before.
I just do list writing, and the thing is, I've really plunging to new depths now because I'm doing things like writing, put the washing on, send a text maybe that I've already sent just so I can cross it off. That's really sad, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
But
do you put at the top? Do you write a list as your top item to do?
I might
write a to-do list, and then you've kind of done it.
Done that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
There's something about the tactile nature of actually writing it down.
Yeah.
Because I could do this pages thing. I could do that on my iPad because I've got a little pen to write on my iPad.
Yeah.
But something about it, having an actual thing to show.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That seems to work better.
Yeah.
I've definitely found
I love handwritten stuff. I use an old school diary still. I know that makes me like a real grandma, but I love writing with a pen and paper.
Yeah. I've
good.
definitely found it in this lockdown is using pen and paper, never using iPads or phones for the quizzes and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. It seems, is it something to do with just the nature of it, just simpler living, just that
Do
kind
you
of.
also sit by candlelight?
Yeah, it's like in the 90s when I was growing up, when you'd have power cuts all the time, and you'd get the candles out and you'd play a game.
Yes, exactly.
That never happens anymore.
Oh, so disappointing. Really hark back to those times.
I know. I wish we have power cuts again, like the 90s. It was better then, wasn't it?
Bring them back. Today's been a bit of a slow start, to be honest, because I've got the most middle class hangover ever. I had a wine tasting online last night, and my tolerance levels are really low. I've realised. It's not that I haven't been drinking; it's just that I've been sort of maintaining a low level of alcohol, and it's really hit me for 6 today. Whew.
Oh yeah, well me too. It was meant to be my brother Barney's stag do yesterday and today as well. So we had a bit of a Zoom meeting last night with everyone, and
nice.
I had some wine. I hadn't drunk for 2 weeks before that, so I feel a bit tired now.
Here, before we go, can I do a really cheeky plug? Is that okay?
Yes, of course you can.
Good. So basically, so Estilo String Quartet that we talk about a bit with Michelle in this podcast, we have launched an album to download from estilostringquartet.com and bandcamp.com called Lockdown Classical, and it's a collection of classical tracks that we recorded, which is quite rare because most of our stuff's pop crossover kind of things, but we found 4 in our archives that we've just released, and it was basically just to keep us motivated, keep us playing. So if you fancy downloading it, take a look.
Great. Had you already recorded that then before lockdown? Yeah.
Yeah, so some of them are quite old, actually. I think it harks right back to like 2004, maybe, one of the recordings.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But we've never recorded them. We've had them for ages, sort of locked away for various reasons. But actually, they're a real joy. I just listened earlier. God.
So these are like B-sides and rarities and old demos.
They are. It's like little archive nuggets of joy.
Yeah.
So
great. Well, can I plug something too?
Go on, Seb.
Well, my band's the Old Dirty Brassers. We've got a few songs out. We've had 4 come out in the last few weeks. Everything Will Be All Right.
Yes.
What else? Wonderwall, Are You Mine, and Reptilia. They're all out now. All produced by Johnny Abraham.
Our friend Johnny.
Friend of the show.
Yes.
And we've started doing an Old Dirty Brassers podcast. So each week we'll talk about these new songs and sort of have a little roundtable discussion with various people involved in the production of it and recording and arranging and performing and all sorts. It's a bit self-indulgent, but it's an excuse to all get together and chat.
Yeah, it sounded
thanks.
great. I really like it. It was just like listening in on a conversation with friends. It was really nice.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, we all miss each other, so it's we see each other all the time normally.
Yeah.
We normally have a gig or 2 a week normally, so we're just in each other's pockets all the time. So it's just an excuse to all meet up and chat and loosely talk about music and all that. But so we've got hopefully one of them coming out each week as well.
Great.
And so that's that. I don't know what else we could waffle on about.
Well, then on that note, we can say cheerio.
Should we let the listeners go?
Let them go.
Yeah.
And
get
see
on
you
with your
next
day,
week.
whatever
But
you're
I
doing,
tell you
listeners.
what, please do like our podcast and subscribe and all that.
Please, if you go onto Apple Podcasts, you can give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
That's the thing you can do.
And maybe write some nice words as well.
Please say something nice, and it really helps.
It does.
It helps us all. It helps me. Helps me feel good. And I think look, we're me and Verity are both feeling quite fragile today, so I think
probably go.
We're going to go. Please give us some praise. Like and subscribe. And have a great week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.